Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're here to give you guys a sneak peek behind the scenes look at my brand new gun room / YouTube studio. So let's get right into it. And now with our normal room lights on, you can see that all this behind me here is actually new. This was the existing wall and we had to expand. And what I really want to talk to you about today is my DIY setup, how I went about getting that, what it cost me, what were its limitations, and ultimately why I ended up ditching that and going with the hold-up displays gun wall here. And I'll be showing you some of the behind the scenes and the features of that gun wall as well. So we'll also get into the studio aspect of it. I know there are some of you that are curious about how I go about doing my recording and some of the lights and things. As you can see, we have a huge studio light up here right now, and we'll get into that later. So the wall you're looking at behind me here from this point all the way to the end originally was 90 degrees and sat right here, and that was my original gun wall where I had my DIY setup. And that DIY setup is where I used these pieces, and they worked for me for quite a while, but eventually as I built up the collection, these had a couple problems and were lacking in a few areas, and they weren't nearly as modular as I needed them to be. So when we expanded the space and I built a new wall, that's when I decided to jump up to the hold-up displays. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about these if you're looking at doing something DIY on your own. So like everything else, there's about 100 different ways to skin a cat, and these are a pretty popular option. These are what I used originally. Now you can find these at Lowe's or Home Depot. The problem is for these shorter pieces, they still cost somewhere between $10 and $20, and that's just for this piece. You're going to provide your own screws, you're going to screw them into your stud, and then these hooks, even though they're all different sizes and you can do a lot of interesting things with them, as I figured out, these are like $10 a piece. So when you look at this setup, you're anywhere between $30 and $40 to hang one gun. And when you're doing them one at a time, it seems a heck of a lot cheaper to do it this way. And if you're only doing a couple, then it probably is. But the problem is these get permanently attached to the wall. If you change things around, then you're going to have to move these around on the wall. And that's something I did quite a bit. And probably if you watch the videos closely, you'll see that my gun wall changed over time, because as I was getting new rifles, I was constantly moving them around. And that's one of the big reasons why I went with a hold-up display gun wall when I did this whole changeover, because I'm changing things a lot. I'm adding new guns. I want to change the way things look, or I'm taking things away or adding things. And this is a heck of a lot faster than re-drilling something like this. And if you're looking for modularity, then going with something like a professional style slat wall makes it pretty easy, because you have these slat wall hangers. This is obviously the pistol version, and you can just simply move this wherever you want to. And when you're ready to secure it in place, it comes with these little plastic clips, and they hold the bottom in place so that it can't move around on you. So you just pop it in place, set your gun there, take a look at it, say, yep, that looks pretty good. And then all you need to do is put this little clip in. Once the clip's in, then you're good to go. This is not going to be going anywhere. And as you can see on the wall here, I have the traditional rifle hangers. We have some pistol hangers over here. Here we have their magazine holders. Now these are universal. We'll work with a bunch of different types of mags. We have pistol mags, 223 AICS mags. We have rimfire magazines. We have basically everything under the sun. You can get something like these shells here, and these are super heavy duty. I think they advertise them to hold ammo cans. Obviously, I'm just going to kind of hold my trinkets and things like that. You have plate carrier holders. And if you're looking to get more volume out of your area and not necessarily a display wall, then they do have a vertical rifle mount here like I'm using, and this is kind of where I put the extra guns when I'm not displaying them on the wall here. And one of the good things about this is that it's expandable. So these individual slat wall panels, you can buy just a small section area of this, and then you can expand it as you go down later. You can go above and below it, you can build off to the side. So you can start with something like maybe a 3x4 section, put a couple of guns on it. Maybe you want to do like a 4x4 and do more like the vertical gun rack, and then have some other accessories, some mag holders and shelves. And you can do that, and realistically it's about the same price as what you're going to pay for something that's DIY. Now, there are cheaper alternatives out there. You can get the compression board style slat wall. Some of them do have metal inserts. However, when you look at the rifles on this wall, PRS rifles are on average around 20 to 23 pounds. That's a lot of weight. Now, these hooks and pieces here, these are actually the same price as what you would pay for the DIY setup. These for the pair are like $20. You're paying $10 a piece for the ones that go on the DIY. So the hooks, the shelves, all the accessories are fairly affordable and about the same price as what you would spend doing DIY. But you're getting an all metal construction here that's really going to hold some serious weight. I would never trust a compression board to hold several hundred pounds and several thousands of dollars in my PRS rifles. I just couldn't sleep at night. Even my DIY setup kind of worried me a little bit because this is plastic and these hooks just sit directly on these little small lips. And with a 24-pound rifle that cost $5,000 or $6,000, it worried me a little bit. I've always prided myself on being completely open and honest with you guys, and I am absolutely thrilled about the hold-up display wall I have here, and I think you can see for yourself why I think it's quite a bit better than the DIY setup I had before. But in full transparency, I did reach out to them. They didn't reach out to me. This isn't a paid review. I reached out to them, said, hey, I'm expanding my gun room. I'm looking to upgrade from this DIY. Can you help me out? And they actually agreed to. I was pretty surprised because I have a pretty small channel, but they did help me out and they sent out a lot of this for free for the channel. So I do want you guys to know that. I have no affiliate link. I get no kickback if you do or don't buy it. I can honestly say it's probably the nicest gun wall I've ever seen, being all metal construction, having been able to put this up by myself. But they came through and helped the channel out, so I really do appreciate that. But I wanted you guys to know that up front. Now, those of you who are interested in how I'm filming this, whether you have a small gun channel or maybe you're starting a YouTube channel and you're interested about the lighting setup here, my main light that you're seeing here projected down on me is an Amaran 200X. I have two small LED panels up here that are illuminating the gun wall. Those are really just to separate myself from the background. So having this set up, I wanted something a little bit more professional. So again, I'm super thrilled about the new gun room, the studio. I will make some small improvements as we go. So now that you've seen the DIY, the older version versus the hold-up displays, I hope that you've seen how easy it is to put up. And one thing I can't stress enough is you don't have to buy a massive kit. You can just enter your dimensions on the website if you want a 3x3 or a 3x5 gun wall, and what they'll do is set you up with how many of these panels you need. Once you put the first one down, you level it up, screw it in, the other ones stack right on top. If you need to expand it left to right, there's just a little metal plate that goes in. You push those two together, that metal plate holds them together, screw it in, and it's rinse and repeat. It really is super easy to expand this setup. So I hope that this has helped you guys. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.